Well, yesterday's holiday kind of threw us all off. We're all looking at the charts and figure out what's going on in the market. Figured it government shutdown may have had a play in that, but it was a holiday nonetheless. And the way I figured that out, of course, in Missouri, as you can tell, kind of changing up the view a little bit. I've got a little bit of a setup here as a studio for when I'm doing some podcasts with respect to this coming out. I was actually also set up to do the audiobook here. So I was literally here this morning, 2 hours reading straight, did 3 chapters. That was that was mind just tears your head open trying to, even though it's the word I wrote, trying to enunciate and do all the things you need to, not real easy. It was actually a lot harder than I anticipated to be, but I'm starting to get the groove down. Well, here yesterday, I've got some property over in what they call Kirbyville on the other side of the lake. And I've got another cabin I'm rehabbing over there. We just got sewer hooked up to it. You may have seen the Instagram stuff I'm putting out there on it where I was running equipment to dig for that. They've just approved hooking up the water to it. I was trying to meet with somebody to set up an idea of where they were going to place the water meter. But I get out there and they're closed for the holiday. I'm like, what freaking holiday? Well, there we are. So it affected the markets as far as nothing happening. Well, today, as we'll show, the markets did a major jump up. So we have probably traders, whatever end up causing the mortgage-backed securities to jump is a gap up open. We'll just show you right here. And in that gap up, I believe traders start taking some profits. And in that profit taken, we pushed it right back down. So that's not it. Stop that share. So trying to do it from this angle right here using that mic, it's going to be a little bit different, not what I'm used to. So here we go. Now you can see what we got going on. So here is where we are today. Doing this in. All right, as you can see right here, it gapped up in our open. Had this big jump from where it closed. No movement yesterday. Jumped up here. Actually up here, moved up a little bit and then retreated right back down. All this. And then it went right back to right here. So it's not far from where the open was. It's right. If you look, there's a lot of other candlesticks that hit this point. That is some support right there that we're not dropping below, which is interesting. We already broke through that, but the value is there for everybody to put money back into it. So this is our current situation. How that affects the interest rates, a little bit effect from what it was on Friday. We're going to say it's somewhere in the range of, let's see here. So that is 11 basis points, which is basically short of 1/8% in cost. So you have a $200,000 loan, it's $250 difference in cost. You have the same interest rate, but not quite that full 250 because you're only 11 basis points. So maybe it's somewhere in the range of about $200 in cost differential from what it would have been on Friday for the better. So not much, but a little bit of difference. The interest rate pretty much be the same. Thing is, we've got the news out there talking about how rates dropped. Oh, they're going to even use this and say rates dropped, things got better. There's not monster movements in any of this. From when they start talking about rates dropping and all this big improvement, that literally from the time that they started talking about that was 69 basis points from where it really jumped up to here. And it's never really held that ground very long. That's equivalent to about 0.5% to 0.5% in cost. So anywhere from $500 to $600 in cost differential on a $100,000 loan. So not a big difference. So what we're looking at here, it's kind of holding steady. We'll just see how things play out as we get through the, hopefully the government shutdown and what the market does. But the value is still staying about there. All the things you're hearing about in the market is just noise with respect to interest rates right now. My opinion, we're getting some legislation happening or some things going on government wise, international business wise, that's going to put some pressure on the US dollar. Just what I talked about last week when I was talking about the value of gold going up so significantly, and it's jumped up even since my last call or my last video to you. That's 30+% swing that we're looking at in the dollar's value since January 2024. That's a big damn deal when you look at that. If you're holding back, waiting for rates to go down to buy investment real estate, you just lost 20% of your buying power, or excuse me, 30% of your buying power if you've been waiting that long. It's not about the interest rate, guys. It's about what your dollar can buy. And your dollar is buying less and less and less, pushing the price of housing up. You can push up rents while you're sitting here waiting to collect a better interest rate. Your rents would be going up. You would make up for it somewhere or another. The problem is you're busy waiting on something else that may or may not happen, and you're losing in the meantime. Don't lose. How do you lose? Get in the freaking game. That's the only way to not lose, is to be in the game. If you want to understand that more, reach out to me. info@aaronchapman.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Bree will set us up. info@aaronchapman.com. I'll get you more data when we come back together on Friday.